Salvete discipuli. Cohort students, I hope you're doing well and staying safe. I miss being in the classroom with all of you, but I'm so excited that I can still make these videos and we can keep learning Latin together. So before we get started with anything else, I thought I would start out by saying the Lord's Prayer, just like we always do in class. So you can go ahead and say it at home as I say it here. So, discipuli oremus. Pater noster, qui es in caelis, sanctificator nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in caelo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. All right, cohort students, as we get started today, it would be really helpful as you're watching this video if you could go ahead and print out the lesson plan that I sent you. This lesson plan will have a lot of fill in the blank spots where as you're listening to the video, you will be able to fill it out and we'll go over those answers together. So if you're able to, I would suggest pausing this video and going to get that right now. If you're not able to print out that lesson plan, you can still follow along on your computer or iPad or phone, or if you're not able to do that either, you can just grab a piece of paper and go ahead and use that for writing down notes or translations as we are working together today. So we are going to get started, and I'm going to review a little bit of vocabulary. I know we've introduced a lot of vocabulary over the past couple of weeks, and I know that it's been a little while since we've learned Latin together, so I'm just going to review some of this new vocabulary that we have today. So this is all on the lesson plan as well, if you have that in front of you. If not, I'm just going to go over it quickly. So we have familia, familiae, which means family or families. Pater, patri, which means father or fathers. And remember, we made that connection to the word patriarch, which are the fathers of our faith, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And we can see that root pater, right? And then we have mater, matri, which means mother or mothers. Filius, filii, son or sons. Filia, filiae, daughter and daughters. Vir, viri, man and men. Femina, feminae, woman and women. Puer, pueri, boy and boys. Puella, puellae, girl and girls. And then last but not least, this one was a little confusing, adding que to the end of a word. For example, last time we had medusque, and that meant and medus. So when you see que at the end of your word, you know you're just going to add an and right before it. And then we have two new words for today. So we have quis, which means who. And we use that when we're talking about masculine words or men. And then we have quae, Q-U-A-E, which means who, but when we're talking about women or feminine nouns. And you'll see that come up, so don't worry about that. And if you have the lesson plan, you have this all written for you, so you don't need to worry about writing this all down. Last time we were together, we also started talking about the genitive case. And I know this is new, and we went over it pretty fast. So far, most words that we've worked with in Latin have been nominative. Now, nominative means that it is the subject of the sentence, what the sentence is really talking about. So, for example, in this sentence, the boy sat in the chair. We are going to ask, what is the subject of that sentence? What is the sentence really about? The subject of that sentence is the boy. That is what the sentence is about. The boy sat in the chair. So the boy here would be in the nominative case because it's the sentence. Then, because it's the subject. If we look over at genitive, genitive is possessive. And so that means that many of the times it will have of or of the, and that's our clue when we see that in Latin. So for example, let's look at this sentence. Marcus is the son of Julius. in this sentence, which word or words do you think would be in the genitive case? Of Julius, right? We see that of there, and so we know it's the possessive or it's the genitive. And possessive doesn't always mean it's of or of the, and genitive isn't always possessive, but that's an easy way right now for us to remember it, and that's all we'll need to know for now. So, how can you tell if you're looking at a word in Latin whether it's in the genitive or nominative case? Well, so far, we are just going to deal with singular endings. So, we remember that we have 3 genders. We have masculine, feminine, and neuter. We're just going to worry about singular endings. So, what's a masculine singular ending in the nominative case? That would be us, right? Let's think of some words that follow that pattern. Fluius, right? Or okeanus, or numerus. Those are all masculine. What about feminine? For feminine, we have a, like insula, litera. What else? Then, what about our neuter ending? Our neuter singular ending, we have oppidum, vocabulum, exemplum, right? Those are our nominative endings. That's most of the endings we've worked with so far when the noun is the subject of the sentence. But what about this, where we have of someone or of something, our genitive endings? Well, our masculine genitive ending is going to be e. So an I right here, e. And if you are using the lesson plan right now, if you have it printed out, there's a spot where you can fill in the blanks for this. There's a little chart, so you can go ahead and write that under the masculine. Our feminine genitive ending is I, A-E, I. And our neuter genitive ending is also E, an I here. So, for example, fluius, with this us ending, would just mean the river. Fluvii, it could mean rivers because that's plural, but in this case, in the genitive ending, it would mean of the river. Insula, here, when it's in the nominative case, it would just mean the island. Insulae, when it has the genitive ending, would mean of the island. Here, oppidum, when it's the subject of a sentence, just means the city. When it's oppidi, it would mean of the city. So go ahead, fill in those blanks on the worksheet, and we are going to go ahead and get started with some translation. And we'll be able to use what we've learned about the genitive case as we are translating. So if you are working on the lesson plan, you can go ahead to the top of the 2nd page, and I've even included a picture of the family that we have been learning about so far, the Familia Romana, the Roman family, where we have Julius est pater, Aemilia est mater, Marcus et Quintus sunt filii, et Julia est filia, right? So we have Julius is the father, Aemilia is the mother, Marcus and Quintus are the sons, and Julia or Julia is the daughter. So we are going to get started with translating with sentence number 1. Quis est Marcus? Quis est Marcus? And cohort students, I want us to remember, what did we just say quis meant? That's right, quis means who. That's one of our new vocabulary words for today. So we have who, est is, and then Marcus. Who is Marcus? Who is Marcus? Good work. Okay, we are going to move on to sentence number 2. You can go ahead and fill in the blank there that we have for sentence number 1. Go ahead and write down the translation. We'll work on number 2 together. Marcus puer Romanus est. Marcus puer Romanus est. And we'll remember puer is a new vocabulary word from a couple weeks ago. And puer here, what does it mean? That's right, it means boy. So go ahead, try translating the sentence on your own for a couple seconds, and then we'll come together. All right, cohort students, what did you get? I got here, Marcus is, from est over here, a Romanus, boy, puer. We remember Romanus here is an adjective. That means it's describing our noun, which is puer or boy. And in Latin, the adjective usually comes after the noun. So instead of saying Romanus puer, like we would in English, Roman boy, we say puer Romanus. Now puer here, it doesn't have our usual us ending for masculine nouns, but puer is still masculine, and that's why Romanus ends with that us. They are both masculine and they are both singular, just one Roman boy. Good work. Okay, we'll move on to sentence number 3. Quis pater Marci est? Quis pater Marci est? All right, so we're looking at the sentence. Quis, we remember that's a new word, that means who. And wait a minute, Marcus here has changed to Marquis. Why is that? Go ahead and think about that and write down the translation, and then we'll come together. Okay, here we have number 3. So we have quis is who is from est, who is the father, pater, right? And then at the end we have of Marcus. Why do we say of Marcus? That's right, we have a genitive ending. When we see Marquis here, we remember Marcus. Marcus is singular and it's masculine and nominative. We have that us ending when it's the subject of a sentence, right? Marcus, that's who we're talking about. Here though, we're saying of Marcus. And we see that of here, and we know when we see Marquis, this is a genitive ending. So that means not just Marcus, not who is the father Marcus, it's who is the father of Marcus when we see that genitive ending. Good work. So go ahead and write that down. If you're working on the lesson plan, we'll move to sentence number 4. Sentence number 4, Julius pater Marci est. Julius pater Marci est. Again, we see this marquis, not Marcus. So that's going to give us a clue, cohort students. What clue does that give us? That's right, that it's going to be in the genitive case. What does that mean? Go ahead and try the sentence on your own. All right, what did you get? We have Julius, right? Julius is from est, the father from pater, and then we have marquis. And what did we do with that? Well, we noticed that marquis here is in the genitive case. If it was in the nominative case, it would say Marcus, but we have marquis. And so we know that means, oh, that's our clue. Instead of just meaning Marcus, this is going to mean of Marcus. So we have Julius is the father of Marcus because we have marquis here. Good work. Okay, number 5. Go ahead and write that down. All right, number 5, we have quae est mater marquis. Remember, quae, ooh, this is one of our new words for today. Quae also means who, but it's used for what? That's right, for feminine words, because we're talking about a mother, not a father anymore. So, and we see we have marquis again here. So go ahead, try this one on your own. I think you can get it. Okay, what did you get, cohort students? We have quae is who, is from est here, the mother from mater, and then we have right here of Marcus. Why do we have that? Well, we see we have marquis here again. And we know if Marcus, if we were just talking about Marcus, we would use our us ending. But we're not just talking about Marcus. It doesn't just say, who is the mother Marcus? It's who is the mother of Marcus. This is our genitive ending. So that's how we know. We see this marquis, we know that's a genitive ending, so we translate it of Marcus. All right, go ahead, write down your translation or make any corrections if you need to. Then I'll go ahead and write down number 6. All right, number 6, we have mater marquis est Aemilia. Mater marquis est Aemilia. Everything in the sentence should be pretty familiar with what we've done so far. The order is a little bit different, so don't let that throw you off, but I want you to go ahead and try it. Okay, for number 6, we have the mother from mater of Marcus, marquis, is est Aemilia. Aemilia. And again, we see this marquis. We know that that is our genitive ending. So that means we need to translate it not just the mother Marcus, but the mother of Marcus right here. is Amelia. Good work. Go ahead and write that down. If you're working through the lesson plan, you can go ahead and fill in that last blank. If you're just using a piece of paper, go ahead and write it down anyway. And when you are completely finished, if you need to check your work, I'm also sending out an answer sheet for your parents. So your parents can go check your work, you can review your answers, and please feel free to send me an email if you have any questions. Or since this is a video, you can go ahead and rewind and rewatch this video as many times as you need to until you feel like you really understand. Or if you need to pause when I'm holding up the answers, you can do that too if that's easier for you so you can copy things down better. But again, I miss you all, but I'm excited that I'm able to send these videos, and I plan to keep sending these videos until we're able to meet again in person. So, walete discipuli.